Hi all. Today we are going to discuss about the famous Sharp-Pitts method for solving non-linear partial differential equation. It's actually one of the very useful method in solving non-linear partial differential equation. So in Sharp-Pitts method, we are actually considering a partial differential equation of the form f of x, y, z, p, q equal to 0. So here f of x, y, z, p, q equal to 0 is our equation. That simply implies we have a partial differential equation involving x, y, z and p. Now what about this x and y? X and y are our input variables and P is our Z is our output variable. So these two are the inputs, Z is the output variable. So that means Z depends upon X and Y. Z is output variable means Z depends upon X and Y. So what we can write, since Z is depends upon X and Y, we can write the total derivative of Z as we can write the total derivative of Z as dz equal to this one, that is dou z by dou x, which is p dx plus q dy. Now this one is one of the most important equation in solving partial differential equation using Sharp-Pitts method. So dz equal to p dx plus q dy. Keep that equation in your mind. Now, just like our Lagrange method, here also we have a set of equations called subsidiary equations defined as dx divided by minus fp equal to dy divided by minus fq equal to dz divided by minus pfp minus qfq equal to dp divided by fx plus pfz equal to dq divided by fy plus qfz. So that is the Sharp-Pitts subsidiary equations. Now here, what about this representations implies fy means dou f by dou y. Similarly, the results hold for x, z. Now what is fp? Fp is dou f divided by dou p, no doubt about that. Fq equal to dou f divided by dou q. So similarly, fx is dou f by dou x, fz is dou f by dou z. So first of all, solving a problem, you have to find all these partial derivatives. Now let us quickly look upon the look upon the method, Sharp-Pitts method, some more deeply. For finding integrals of or solutions of, we are not supposed to use all the equations involved in Sharp-Pitts equations. So we know that we have more than 5 equations in a Sharp-Pitts equation. So it is not necessary to use all the equations in Sharp-Pitts subsidiary equation, all the fractions in Sharp-Pitts subsidiary equations to find the integral or solution. And also always our aim is to find P and Q. Our aim is to find P and Q. P and Q in terms of x, y, z. We are looking for P and Q in terms of x, y, z. Now once we obtained P and Q, then we can substitute P and Q in the equation z equal to P dx plus Q dy, and we can integrate that for the final solution. That is our simple idea. Now, the steps involved in Sharp-Pitts methods are, first one is definitely computing the partial derivatives for finding the Sharp-Pitts equation. So our first step is partial derivative. Then we will find the Sharp-Pitts subsidiary equation. We will find Sharp-Pitts subsidiary equation. Then what will we do? We will find P and Q in terms of x, y and z. We will find P, Q in terms of x, y, z. And then we will use the equation dz equal to p dx plus q dy. We will integrate this equation dz equal to p dx plus q dy. So we will start with finding partial derivative substitute equation. Then we will find pq in terms of x, y, z. Then we will use dz equal to p dx plus q dy. And note that it is not necessary to use all the fractions in your substitute equations to solve or obtain the solution. Our aim is to find p, q in terms of x, y, z. Let us consider our first problem. Solve p square plus q square y equal to qz. Now note that in our Charpit's equation, our general equation of the form f of x, y is that p, q equal to 0. So first of all, we will rewrite this equation as p square plus q square y minus qz equal to 0, and that implies our function f is p square plus q square y minus qz. So this is our first step, converting the given equation to the standard form. It's actually necessary. Now what is the next stage? We know our Charpit substitute equations are dx by minus fp equal to dy by minus fq equal to dz by minus pfp minus qfq equal to dp by fx plus pfz equal to dq by fy plus qfz. So what we need now? We need to find all the partial derivatives which are in the Charpit substitute equation. So let us find fx first. What is fx? There is no term involving x here, so fx is 0. What about fy? Fy is p square plus q square. What about fz? Only one term containing z, which is qz, so the derivative is minus qz. What about fp? Fp is actually 2py. And what about finally fq? Fq is, we have two term containing q, 2qy minus z. So that is the required derivatives fx, fy, fz, fp, fq, and all the 5 partial derivatives we already find. So now let us substitute these values in our Charpit substitute equation. What will happen? We have fp equal to 2py, therefore dx divided by minus 2py first term, dy divided by z minus 2py. Now third term is dz divided by minus pfp minus qfq, or minus of pfp plus qfq. Let us find what is pfp plus qfq. What is this pfp plus qfq? Now our fp is 2py, so pfp is 2p square y plus qfq is 2q square y minus qz. Now let us take this 2y common. 2y into p square plus q square minus qz. Now just observe this term 2y into p square plus q square. That is actually right here in your given equation. Here you have p square plus q square y equal to qz. So we can simply replace that one. So this is 2qz minus qz, which is equal to qz. So pfp plus qfq is nothing but qz. So minus pfp minus qfq is minus qz. Now dp divided by fx plus pfz. Fx is 0, so pfz is minus pq, and dq divided by p square. So right now we have all the fractions in substitute equation. We just write the Charpit substitute equations. Now our aim is to find an equation or a solution from this Charpit substitute equation involving p and q. So we are looking for equations involving p and q. An equation which does not involve both p and q will not do any help for us. So always try to find equation involving p and q from Charpit substitute equation. Always choose the most simple equation. Consider the last two. What will happen if we choose the last two? If we take the last two, p will get cancelled. We will get dp divided by minus q equal to dq divided by p, and this implies on cross multiplication this is p dp equal to minus q dq. So using last two equation we have p dp plus q dq equal to 0. On integration what we get? On integration we have p dp plus q dq. We have p dp when integration we get exactly p square by 2 plus q square by 2 divided by constant can be written as c square by 2. So we can cancel all this term, all these 2 from denominator, and we will get simply p square plus q square equal to c square. So this is our first solution. This is our first solution, and this solution involves p and q. So we will use this for finding equations for p and q. Now, right now we have two equations in our hand. First equation is the given equation, that is p square plus q square into y minus qz equal to 0. And also right now we have p square plus q square equal to c square. This is the given equation. This is the given equation, and this one is the obtained equation. Now our aim is to find p and q. Let us just substitute this p square plus q square in this equation. What we get? We get c square y minus qz equal to 0, and that is we have q equal to c square y divided by z. So q equal to c square y divided by z. So that is our first equation. We have q equal to c square y divided by z. So substituting p square plus q square equal to c square in given equation, what we get? Q equal to c square y divided by z. Now if we substitute this value of q in our p square plus q square equal to c square, what we get? We will get our p as c into square root of z square minus c square y square divided by z. P equal to c into square root of z square minus c square y square divided by z. Now right now we have p and q. We obtained p and q in terms of x, y, z. So that is actually our first main goal, and we obtained our first goal. So what is our next step? We have an equation for dz equal to p dx plus q dy, and we will substitute this value of p and q in that equation, and what we get? We get c by z square root of z square minus c square y square dx plus c square y divided by z dy. So this is our equation for dz. Now the next step is to integrate this one. We are going to integrate this particular equation. Now the question is, how can we integrate this one? How to integrate this dz? So that is our next question. How to integrate dz? Now if we consider the equation, we have the second term here involves c by z square root of z square minus c square y square involving x, y and z. So it is not possible to integrate this term directly. We have to do some adjustment. One of the important or useful method for solving dz is grouping. Grouping variables in such a way that we'll have some integrable form. Now let us group this term together. First of all, let us take this z to the left side. We have z common in the right side. Here we have z. Here also we have z. So we will take that z to the left side. What we get? Z dz, that is on the left side, and also we will take this c square term, because in this term, in this root term, we have z square z as well as y. So in order to integrate this one, we have to group z and y. So we will take z and y together. We will take this y term to the left side. C square y dy equal to, here we have c into square root of z square minus c square y square dx. Now also we will take that z square term to the left side, that is z dz minus c square y dy divided by square root of z square minus c square y equal to c dx. So we will just rearrange that equation. Z dz minus c square y dy equal to c into square root of z square minus c square y square dx. Now this is wrong. This step is wrong actually. Now our question is, can we integrate this left side? Right side is actually directly integrable. The question is, how can we integrate the left side? It is actually a quite simple process. What about the derivative of, if we find the derivative of this one, z square minus c square y, what you will get? You will get 1 by 2 root z square minus c square y square, and the derivative of m inside is 2z dz plus, actually minus 2c square y dy, 2c square y dy. Now what is that? That is actually same as this equation. If we cancel terms, it is quite clear that this equation is same as this equation. That means the left hand side is actually the derivative of, square root of z square minus c square y square. So on integration, what we get? Left side is square root of z square minus c square y square, which is equal to, right side is can be integrated simply cx plus a, or z square equal to, or take square on both sides, we get z square equal to a plus cx all square plus c square y square, which is the required complete integral. Now note that integrating dz is actually one of the very important step, and which requires some of your integration abilities. If you know integration, the operation integration well, then you can easily integrate dz. Keep in mind that in most of the problem, integrating dz is not that much easy. Let us consider our next problem. Solve 2xz minus px square minus 2qxy plus pq equal to 0. So here our f is clearly given, 2xz minus px square minus 2qxy plus pq, that is our f. So we know that our subsidiary equation is this one, so we need the corresponding derivatives anyway. What about fx? Fx is 2z minus 2px minus 2qy. And what about fy? Fy is minus 2qx, fz is 2x. What about fp? Fp is actually minus 2xp plus q, and fq equal to, we have two term containing q, it is 2xy minus 2xy plus p. So these are our required partial derivative. Let us now substitute all this in our equation. Let us now substitute all these values in our Charpit subsidiary equation. What we get? Dx divided by x square minus q equal to dy divided by 2xy minus p equal to dz divided by px square minus 2pq plus 2qxy equal to dp divided by 2z minus 2qy equal to dq divided by 0. Now, a very important information. If you have any numerator corresponding to dp or dq equal to 0, if dq by 0 or dp by 0 is in your equation, that means you can easily find the value of q. Now consider this one. We have dq by 0 here. Dq by 0 equal to some p by q, right? So if we take this 0 to the right side, what we get? We will get dq equal to 0. Now on integration, what we get? Integrating this one, we have integral dq equal to integral 0. That implies q equal to a constant a. So if we have a division by 0, we can simply take that particular variable as a constant. So here we have q equal to a. Now what we will do? We will just substitute the value of q equal to a in this equation. In the given equation, we will substitute q equal to a, and hence we will find p. So putting q equal to a in that equation, what we get? We will get p equal to 2x into z minus ay divided by x square minus a. It is actually a very simple process. Just substitute q equal to a in our given equation. Now after substituting, after getting q and p, right now we have equations for p and q in terms of x, y, z. So right now we have p and q in terms of x, y, and z. No need to involve all the derivatives. Our aim is to obtain p and q in terms of the variables x, y, z. Maybe a constant, no problem. Now we have p and q. Let us substitute p and q in our dz. So right now we have p dx plus q dy equal to 2x into z minus ay divided by x square minus a dx plus a dy. Now again the question is how to integrate this one. We have right now dz, the derivative dz equal to 2x into z minus ay divided by x square minus a dx plus a dy. Now the second term is actually our problem. Here we have x, z and y in the second term. So and this term, this is actually involving both z and y. So let us group the term z and y together. So taking this a dy to the left side and z minus ay to the left side, what we get? dz minus a dy divided by z minus ay equal to 2x divided by x square minus a dx. Now right side is quite simply the derivative of log x square a, so we can simply integrate that one. What about this one? If we find the derivative of z minus ay, what we get? We will get log z minus ay. If we find the derivative of log z minus ay, what we get? In the derivative of log is 1 by, so z minus ay, 1 by z minus ay into derivative of z is dz and a into derivative of y is dy. So the left side is actually derivative of log z minus ay, and also if we find the derivative of log x square minus a, what is that? It is 1 by x square minus a. Derivative of this x square minus a is 2x into d. So left side is the derivative of log z minus ay and right side is the derivative of log x square minus a. So on integration, what we get? We will get log z minus ay equal to log x square minus a plus log b. Now we are taking constant of integration as log b because we have log in all the terms, so that we can use this property log ab equal to log a plus log b, or we have another property that is log a by b equal to log a minus log b. Now we will take this either we can use that directly. Anyway, we will get z minus ay equal to b into x square minus a, or z equal to ay plus b into x square minus a. That is our required solution. Z equal to ay plus b into x square minus a is our required solution. Let us consider our third problem. Solve 2z plus p square plus qy plus 2y square equal to 0. So here our f, the function f is 2z plus p square plus qy plus 2y square. F equal to 2z plus p square plus qy plus 2y square. Now we have our substitute equation dx by minus fp equal to dy by minus fq equal to dz by minus pfp minus qfq equal to dp by fx plus pfz equal to dq by fy plus qfz. Now our first aim is to find all the required partial derivatives. So what about fx? No x term, so it is 0. Fy is 4y plus q, Fz is 2, Fp is 2p, and Fq is y. So these are our required partial derivatives. So substituting these values, what we get? Dx by minus 2p equal to dy by minus y equal to dz by minus of 2p square plus qy equal to dp by 2p equal to dq by 4y plus 3q. Now the question is, from this substitute equation, can you find an equation involving p and q or p or q? Choose the most simple pair of fraction which is easily integrable, and note that if it your solution must contain p or q. Now if we take first and fourth fraction, if we take the fraction first and fourth fraction, we have first fraction is dx by minus 2p equal to dp by 2p, that is the fourth fraction. Actually we are taking this because if we take this one we can cancel this denominator. So what we get, minus dx equal to dp. On integration, or if we simply integrate this one, we will get p equal to minus of x plus a constant a. P equal to minus of x plus a constant a, minus x plus a. So from the first and fourth fraction we have p equal to minus x plus a. So what is our next idea? We will substitute the value in this equation. We have 2z plus p square plus qy plus 2y square equal to 0 is here, and we will substitute this value right here, and we will find the value of q. Now substituting p equal to a minus x in the given equation, we will get q equal to 1 by y minus 2z minus 2y square minus of a minus x all square. Now let us use our equation. Dz equal to p dx plus q dy, which is equal to a minus x dx minus 1 by y into 2z plus 2y square plus a minus x all square dy. Now we are going to group this term. How many terms here we have? We have a dz term on the left side. Then we have a minus x dx, a minus x dx. Then we have this term 2z divided by y dy. Then we have minus of 2y dy. Then finally we have minus of a minus x all square divided by y dy. That is, we have 4 terms. We are going to group these terms together. How can we group these terms? Note that in your last equation we have both x and y. So we will group x and y term having same property, that is involving a minus x together. That is, we will take the first and last term together, and we will take the rest of the term to the left side. Also note that this term means that's our third term on the right side is actually involving only one variable, so we can directly integrate that one. We will take the second term to the left side. Anyway, to remove this y term, we will multiply throughout by y. We will multiply the equation throughout by y. What we get? it is y dz equal to y into a minus x dx minus 2z dy minus 2y square dy minus a minus x all square dy. Now we are going to group these terms together. So we will take that term anyway. So what we get, y dz minus 2z dy. We will take that y z term together equal to y into a minus x dx minus a minus x all square dy minus 2y square dy. Now the question is the equation on the left side is integrable. Y dz minus 2z dy. So since we have a 2 here and we are integrating with respect to y, since we have a 2 here and integrating with respect to y, that means either you have a 2y means the left side integral, this term is not correct if you are considering 2y. So in order to get an integrable form, you have to multiply this equation throughout by 2y again. So let us multiply entire equation with the 2y. We are multiplying the equation with the 2y. What we get? We get 2y square dz minus 4yz dy equal to something. Now, what is the speciality of multiplying with the 2y? Now, this term 2y square dz minus 4yz dy is actually the derivative of a term. Which term? It is actually derivative of 2y square z. If we find the derivative of 2y square z, what we get? It is 2y square into dz plus 2y square into dz. It's actually plus, this term is actually plus 4yz dy. That is our second term. So in order to convert the left side to an integrable form, we will multiply with the y. So already we multiplied with the y in the beginning here. Right now we multiply with the 2y. That means we have to multiply the entire equation by 2y square. So we will multiply this equation. This dz equal to a minus x dx minus 1 by y 2z plus 2y square plus a minus x all square dy by 2y square. We will multiplying both sides by 2y square, and we will group the terms as I just explained. We will group the term. Now what about the left hand side? Left hand side is actually the derivative of 2y square z. And now what about this term 2y square a minus x dx? Not this term. If we will group these two terms together, this is actually the derivative of a term. This is actually the derivative of, if we take, this is actually the derivative of y square into a minus x all square. It's actually derivative minus of derivative of y square into a minus x all square. So on integrating on both sides, what we get, 2zy square, that is our derivative on left side, 2zy square or 2y square z equal to minus of y square into a minus x all square, that is a derivative of first and third term in right hand side, and obviously derivative of y cube is, or integral of y cube is y raised to 4 by 4, so 4 will get cancelled, so we have y raised to 4 there, and we have a constant of integration. We can just rewrite the equation as we wish, or anyway this is our final solution. Now keep in mind that multiplying with 2y square is actually the key idea here, and there is no direct rule or order. Nobody will tell you multiply this equation throughout by 2y square. You have to do more and more problem. Practice will help you to understand or able to identify how to convert a given equation to integrable form. So Multiplying both sides by 2y square is the key idea, which will obtained only by doing number of problems in Char-Pitts method. Let us proceed to our next problem. Now some homework for you. Now while doing this homework, keep in mind that your first step is to find the partial derivatives. Second step is to find the subsidiary equation. Third step is to find P and Q in terms of X, Y and Z. And fourth step is to integrate dz equal to P dx plus Q dy. Now note that while you integrate this one, you may use direct integration. Sometimes you have to use grouping method, or most of the time you have to group the terms together. Now how to group a term? Observe terms in your equation. Observe terms in your equation. If you have a term a square minus z square y, that means you have a term involving y and z. So try to group z and y together. Take z and y together and try to consider that term as the derivative of a single term. Now, grouping is actually again how to group an equation is actually will obtained only the ability to group a given equation to integrable form is obtained only by doing more problem. So try to solve all these problems and upload in your Google Classroom. We will meet with the next method of separation of variable in the next lecture.